battling it out in an epic best-of-7 match to identify the new world champions. Be sure to tune in and witness the race to the top.
Okay, so everyone at home should know the rules by now, but this is how it's going to go down in the studio. So Lefel is going to draw all the teams from Seed 1. Gideon will then draw all the teams from Seed 2, and then you guys will each draw 4 teams from Seed 3. Simple? Understand?
Very, very easy, yeah.
Let's get straight to it.
All right, so this is Seed 1. These are where all of the champions are, and this is the very first ball of the day. And the team that we got here is from the Philippines, Blacklist International.
Ooh, that's a big one. I think every team here is going to be looking at Blacklist International, top-tier contender. Ooh, and they're going into Group A. They're really setting the standard.
Blacklist International Group A, but as we were saying before, right, every single team in this group can't be messed with. I mean, they're all very strong. Who is going to come out next? Seed 1 Group.
Yeah, we can already see in Group A, very, very tough. So now, going in to Group B is the second team. I can see a little bit of it. And over here from Indonesia, Onyx Esports.
Yeah, another big team here. And honestly, I'm feeling like it's the year of Onyx. We've got double the representatives this time round. Don't know whether or not they're going to be able to take the cake, but it's very good odds here.
Potential chances for Onyx versus Onyx in the stages, right, as well.
Very true.
Yeah, but they are in Group B. Let's see who is in Group C from Seed 1. Please draw out the third.
So from here, again, 50-50 chance. So let's see. Group C, our representative, this one is very tight over here, but looks like we've got EVOS Singapore.
Oh boy, 2-time champions of the MPL SG, and they're playing on home turf. They're going to be going into Group C here. I think this is going to be quite an interesting M3.
Maybe 3-time champions after M3. Let's see and confirm the final team who will be in Group D from Seed 1.
Yes, it'll be very surprising if it's any other team than Malaysia's Team SMG.
Team SMG, that stands for Still Moving Under Gunfire, founded by the famous Chinese singer JJ Lin, winning MPL MY. They're going into Group D. It's only the beginning of the anime arc.
Thank you. My Chinese music range has now improved after that. Thank you very much, Gideon. And we have now officially got, well, the first seeded teams. Let's take a little recap at this. Now, Lefel, looking at this, if you're in C2, C3, which group would you like to avoid right now?
Okay, so as of right now, Group A, Group B, generally you want to avoid the Philippine and as well as the Indonesian teams. But Group C and D, they're still a powerhouse that you don't want to mess with. Again, like Gideon said, EVOS SG 2-time champions in their own region. SMG has never won. This is the first time that they have become champions. And now they're going straight to Group D in the M3.
Gideon, you will be doing C2. From C2, in your opinion, which is the strongest team?
Ooh, from C2, already I'm looking towards Onyx PH. I'm looking towards, the classic RRQ. However, I am very, very worried about the Brazilian representatives, the Red Cannons, as well as CU Soon, both of which have their own moments within their own local countries. But it's just going to make this group even spicier. I don't know. I'm curious for Group A.
I would like to see Onyx versus Onyx. So please make it happen, and let's reveal the first team from C2 that's going into Group A.
All right, here we go. This is actually a lot more nerve-wracking than I thought. Okay, here we go. Oh, boy. It looks to be... Oh, the other way around. Red Cannons.
Yeah, but Red Cannons over here, one of the most famous teams in Brazil. They had a pretty good regular season as well as qualified for playoffs stage in second after dropping the first game to DMX in playoffs. They came back from the lower bracket and won the first MPL Brazil Season 1.
Interesting team. They are in Group A.
I'm seeing that.
Wow. Diego Philippine again was already considered as the underdog in MPL season 8 after several seasons. But again, Onyx this season for both Indonesia as well as Philippines, both of these teams look very, very strong. And Mark, you called it. Looks like we're going to see an Onyx versus Onyx.
Onyx versus Onyx. I wanted it to happen. It is going to happen. And just for confirmation, they will be in Group B. Onyx, Philippines. Let's see the third team. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it?
yeah, it
Onyx
is.
versus Onyx already.
I'm nervous. I mean, you've already called out one. Would you like to call this one out as I crack it?
I'm going to let you do this.
You know what?
Right.
Let's find out here.
See you soon. I'm gonna call it. See you soon.
Okay, here we go. Revealing it right now.
Oh, it is. It is.
See you soon. All right. So here's the thing, right? Cambodia, as we speak with them, they are generally one of the most aggressive regions to play in the MPL. So again, I'm very, very interested to see how they're going to play in M3 against all of the other regions.
Honestly, I am too. Cambodia, really up and coming, and I just love their overall playstyle. They want fights, they'll get fights.
They are unpredictable, but what's not predictable is the next team in Group D. We know who it is going to be, so please reveal, just to make sure.
All right. Just for the sake of formality, we're cracking this one open, making sure that everything is set in stone. And here we go. It is going to be RRQ.
RRQ from Indonesia. Again, this is one of those teams that do not need any kind of introduction. They have a large list of resumes, winning a lot of local tournaments, MPLs, as well as international tournaments. They are looking very, very good. And Group D, are you looking very spicy?
Group D is looking spicy. Let's just have a little recap at these groups right now. Okay, so we have drawn Seed 1, Seed 2. Gideon, I'm going to ask you the question right now. I asked it to Lafel earlier. Which group, in your opinion, needs to be avoided if you're in Seed 3?
Honestly, right now, if you're in C3, I would definitely want to avoid Group B. It's got some of the strongest teams already listed up there. I think everybody else has a pretty good distribution overall, but just, I feel like it's the year of Onyx. They're popping off. They're going to have to go against each other at some point, but for the other two teams, we'll have to see.
And Lafel, how about yourself? Which group do you think looks like the easiest route to get through?
As of right now, I have to be honest with you, Mark. None of these groups, as of right now, look very, very easy. Because again, Group A, you have the Filipino champions, Blacklist International. Try to avoid them. In Group D, RRQ and SMG. Both of these teams used to be coached by the same person, so their playstyle is amazing. And in Group C, see you soon. Very, very aggressive team. I would try to avoid them as well.
Well, it's time for Seed 3 right now. We've got some new teams, and it's going to be interesting. You mentioned a lot of these teams are very unpredictable. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I would say that Group C, not only are they unpredictable, they're some of the most aggressive we have, especially See You Soon and as well as Navi. Both of these teams really like to go hard or just go home. Luckily in this group stage, nobody's going to go home just yet. It's really competing for the upper brackets.
So that is the group draw. The schedule is what we're going to show you next. Of course, day 1, we have got some great matches taking place. So this is Group A, day 1. Of course, there's 6 games on there. Lafel, which one will you definitely be watching? Well, you're going to watch them all, but which one will you make sure you don't miss?
Well, again, let's start with the very first one of the day. A very good matchup where we can see Blacklist International going up against Red Canids, where again, Red Canids, they have a lot of potential. I do want to see them do very well in M3. But as of right now, Blacklist International is a very big wall for them to hurdle.
Gideon, for people who are watching this for the first time, this might seem like a silly question, but I think a lot of people would be interested to hear your opinion. So, Blacklist International, they have got a gap in between all their games, but for instance, BDL, they're playing a match after each other.
Styles, you know, not one simple form.
Not just me, not just Gideon, but everyone else as well. We want to see how the Filipino brand as well as the Indonesian brand, they're going to play with each other. But another shout out I do want to give is on the Philippines against Team Toda, where Toda again, they play a very uncharacteristic style because sometimes dead draft is a little bit all over the place. I want to see how they go up against Onyx Philippines.
Gideon, which game do you think will be over the quickest? So many strong teams in this. If you had to predict one game that would be over the fastest, which one would you go for?
Honestly, I think most people would say like, oh, you know, it's gonna be Onyx versus VK. No, I think the Onyx versus Onyx game will actually be the fastest because I feel that once a team gets even the slightest advantage, it's a game over already. It's the first person who makes the mistake.
Oh, interesting theory there. We shall see. That is day 2. Some absolutely fantastic matches on. Day 3. Still got some fantastic ones. This is the unpredictable group we mentioned earlier. So many interesting matches. Lefel, which one?
Again, I feel like RSG could actually take the game off of SMG because even they said during their interview where they're most afraid of themselves not being able to catch up with the meta, not being able to catch up with Singapore.
Gideon, this group here, Group D, GX, right. GX squads, we spoke to them earlier. What do you think their chances are of getting out of this group looking at those matches?
Look, the most logical reasoning that we can see here is that since we don't have a lot of information off of GX, it's likely that most people will assume that they wouldn't be able to take a game from either RSG, RQ, or even SMG. But that's the big problem here. I think that GX has what it takes to really turn things around. And I think their best chances, if they can take a game off of RRQ, that in itself is a huge, huge statement.
Well, guys, it's been an amazing draw. I just want to